guys, welcome back to SMB Designs. My name is Stephanie. If you're new here, hello, welcome. If you've been here, welcome back. So today is the second edition of our book of ideas. So I kind of cheated on this one, guys. I watched a video and I absolutely fell in love with what she did because I'm needing to send out some happy mails, and this is a perfect little thing to send out a nice little happy mail to somebody in. So I'm adding it to the book of ideas, but I'm sharing it with you as I'm adding it. Okay. Um, this is what we're going to be making. This is going to be my ephemera holder or my holder for Happy Meals that I'm fixing to send out. I joined a Happy Meal swap with Miss Calico Kate, Kathy Cowell. If you don't know her, I will put her link in the description box below. Be sure and check her out. She has some really great videos. And the lady that I watched and got this from, well, sort of got it from, I kind of altered and changed some stuff, but um, her video I will link in the description box below, and her name is vintage lace underscore journal 75. I was really excited when YouTube suggested this video to me. I was not a subscriber of hers. I am now, but I wanted to go ahead and walk you through it so you could also have it in your book of ideas. So first, we're just going to unwrap it here. This is my little prototype for y'all. I used a button here for the closure and lace. I will probably change that and use discs with a brad in the middle. I'll show you that on the inside just because it will be easier for mailing for it to be flatter. But we open it up, and this is our first section. And you can put a pocket, you can put anything you want on this first section. And then I went ahead on the opposite and put a pocket here. Turn it over, I put a pocket here, right here. Then when you open up this flap, I put a little side pocket here and a regular pocket here. I also put a pocket here. And these are the discs that I was talking about. They're paper discs. I take 2 discs of cardstock of like scrapbooking scrap papers that I have left over of the 12 by 12 cardstock. And I just left the craft side on the outside and used vintage photo around it to do this. And these are just 2 little brads. That's all that is. I used some twine to wrap it up. You just wrap it with like a figure 8. I know some of you already know this, but some others may not. And since this is for beginners as well, I wanted to make sure and include them in this. So when you open it up, you can see my brads here. You can cover those with anything you want to. They don't bother me, but I may, just for the sake it might would bother someone who receives it, put something over that. I haven't decided. But you have a pocket here, and this will fold down, and you've got a pocket here, you've got a belly band here, but there's more, and it folds open. So you've got a pocket here, a belly band here, and another pocket here. And I am going to fill these to the brim with ephemera and goodies just to send over to some special people that were on the list. So I want to get to go ahead and show you how I did this. So we're just going to start from the very beginning. You'll need 1 sheet of 12 by 12 cards, 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. I made this one with the cardstock scrapbook paper, but I'm going to make the one with you with the thinner paper that has a white backing, just so we can see the difference, okay? And I have that pulled out here, and this is my paper I chose. Let me back up just a little bit for you because kind of not getting to see everything there. There we go. Okay. And this is just my keyboard, so just ignore it. I can move it, but I'll lose it, so I'm just going to leave it. So what we want to do is we want to take our scoreboard, and if you don't have a scoreboard, you can use a ruler and a stylus or anything like a dotting tool, something like that. And you're going to want to take your scores. In just a moment, I'll give those measurements to you. Okay, the measurements for all of this lady has done an amazing job, and she has put all measurements and instructions in her description box of the video that I'm linking below for you. Okay, so with our 12 by 12, she says cardstock and some papers to decorate it. We're going to try this just to see how flat it would be for mailing. If it's not good, it's not good. I'm the one that's lost out on it, not you. So, the first thing it says is to score at 4 inches and then 8 inches. So let's do that. We've got our 4 inches there, and we've got 8 inches here. Okay, and then she wants us to turn the card 90 degrees, and then you're going to score again at 4 and 8 inches. All right, there's 4, and there's our 8. Okay, so for right now, I'm going to put my scoreboard aside, and this is what we have. So what we need to do next is we need to fold on our score lines so that we get all that good stuff going. And you can burnish. If you're using cardstock, definitely burnish. If you're using the 12 by 12 papers, it's not quite as necessary. But you want to fold it that way, and then you want to come back and fold it the opposite direction, just like that, and do the other side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we want to keep a T shape. So we're going to cut out these 2 bottom squares on each side. So I'm not going to mark on them because we will be using them. So let's just get out our cutter, and hopefully I don't do like I did earlier today and I actually cut clear through my T. I was on it though. I was working it. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut and make sure you don't go through your T and stop there. And then you want to slide it on over and do the other side. Make sure that you're lining up good. And you're going to cut right through that. Okay, and now we're going to cut off the 2 sides. So you can do this with scissors if you want to, or you can do it with your cutter. I really do not cut very straight, so I need my cutter to do it for me. So I'm going to push that across there, and I'm going to skip over to the other side and cut that. Okay, and now my cutter doesn't go all the way to the edge, so it would, but I've got a scoring thing there, so it doesn't let me go quite that far on a 12 by 12. So I'm just going to nip that little spot and any spots that are still connected, because I get a little gun shy sometimes about getting too close to those edges. So we've got one piece loose, one piece is gone, and the other one is just hanging on by a thread. So we're going to nip that off. There we go. Now we have our T. Okay, this is wonderful. So next in our list, she says after we cut out the 2 bottoms, the left and the right, should leave you with a T and some left over. Burnish the lines and fold as shown in the video. And what she does in the video is she folds it up like this. So we may want to flip ours since I'm using this paper and fold it up and down. That way we've got that pretty part on the outside. We'll do some other stuff on the inside, but I want the outside to look like this. Okay, but that's also going to leave us with another thing, because that's going to leave us with these two. So I need to change mine back around because I want my outside flaps to be the part that is seen the most. So you'll fold your two sides over, make sure everything folds in nice and neat. And I feel like mine is a little bit snug right there. So let me take a look and see. It looks like I need just a sliver off of that. And I've got it right for that side, but this down the middle. You know, I thought that earlier too, and I cut a little sliver and it messed me up. So I'm just going to correct the fold over because these two middles, we're going to cut part of them anyway, so it will be okay. Well, not them, but the in you'll get it. You'll get it. We'll get there. Okay, so you should have this now. You should have this lovely square that's folded up. Doesn't it look so beautiful? That's what we're working with. And it says to take one of the cutout sections and trim a sliver off the long edge. So this is our piece, and we just want to take a sliver off. So I'm going to put mine at this end, and just a sliver. We don't want much off. So I'm ready to cut that off, and this is my sliver. It's very narrow. You can probably see it better if I flip it over. There you go. That's how much I actually took off. Okay, and let's see where we're at. Okay, it says score at 2 inches from the left, then turn it around and score at 2 inches from the right. So let's get our scoreboard back. I'm going to score here, and then I'm going to flip the whole thing around and score again at 2. Okay, so there's our scores, and she says to stick the middle part of the panel to the top, middle square to create your door flaps. Okay, so we want the middle part still there, but we want to take our sections and fold those over or burnish if you're using cardstock. And this is what you will have. Okay, so our next step is to check it out inside of our block that we just made. And we want it to be on this middle section right up here. So if we glue this down, are we going to have enough room for everything to fold? That's the first thing you want to check. So it folds fine there. The door folds over. Oh, this door's a little bit snug. So I may need to, no, it shouldn't. I'm just going to adjust mine because I don't, it shouldn't, and I don't want to take an extra sliver off. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to adjust it because we are actually going to cut these flaps. So no worries there. You do want to kind of line it up if you can. Mine is kind of going over. I don't really like that. So I'm going to try and adjust my fold here. Just a hair bit, just a little bitty bit, so that it won't be sticking up there on the end. Okay. We're going to get this side going with it. All right. I'm going to check it again. Check twice, cut once. That is the rule. Okay, we put it in there. We'll close the top and we'll close the side. All right, that makes our little bit of length right here on the bottom, and that's the bottom of our fold out. So we can take a sliver off the very bottom of that now, and that will line up exactly. So let's do that. And I do mean a sliver. Y'all saw what I meant by a sliver. This is my little sliver right here. Very, very small, narrow. Okay. So now that we have that and we have this, we need to make ourselves a door out of this. And she has a pretty little scalloped looking door on her. She had used her Cricut, I think she said, or she used a die, I can't remember. But she did also give an alternative, which worked really good for me. But my tape, she says to use your round tape, to use that circle as your sizes going out. But my tape was used up so much that it's not big enough to cover these. So I did find this really cool thing in my stash, and I've never used it. I got it at an estate sale with a bunch of other sewing stuff. This is a bendable ruler, basically. It doesn't give you measurements, but it will shape to whatever shape you want it to shape to. Does that make sense? So for me, I took my cup and I wrapped it around the very top to see if that would be, good enough shape for it. And I dropped it off the bottom and I took this piece aside and checked it out to see if that would go from side to side well. And it does. So, because that worked good, you want to make sure you're touching at the center or almost touching. I did that, and then I took my pen, and I'm going to use an ink pen because you guys need to be able to see better. So, we're going to just mark that line until it goes off the sides. And they do still sell these. I have seen them. It's not necessary, obviously, but it's going to be a really handy thing in this craft room, I believe. So I was pretty excited because I didn't even know what a thing was, but it's pretty neat. So all of my templates, everything that I had were too small, but this I could get just the right size, and you'll see that my 2 points come close together in the middle, and they go up at the same angle and come down at the same angle. So then all you have to do is take your scissors, and you want to go right on the inside of your drawn line so you don't have to erase anything, or in my case, you can't erase anything. Then we're going to go all the way around and cut both of those outer edges off. Hope y'all are having a good week and things are going great for you. I'm having a pretty decent one myself, so that's always a plus. All right, let's get this other side. Had an amazing Wacky Wednesday last night. It was so fun. If you haven't been to a Wacky Wednesday, I invite you to come and join us. It's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, and it's just me and a bunch of friends, and we all hang out and chat. And I am including the people in the chat as my friends because we've all kind of gotten to know each other and are getting to know each other. So I love that about this community. I love when it can be friendship and happiness and not cattiness or just drama. I don't do drama. So anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, we've got our little paper. We know that it fits in the middle, and we know that our sides fold in just right. See, that's going to be so cute. So now what you have to do is you have to glue this to this. But you need to do it so that, get my glue paper. So that it fits just inside and you can fit everything else still inside. So you have to mind your corners, mind your edges. If y'all hear dogs barking, my dogs have been on high alert all day. I don't know what their deal is. They are going bananas. And there's nothing outside when they're barking. Nothing. One starts it and then the other ones just all jump in. Oh, it's madness, I tell you, madness. Okay. So now that we've got that in there, I'm just going down it with my nail to make sure that we've got it nice and stuck down. And this folds up fine. So, yep, we're good. Okay. So we're going to move this section. And let's see what she says to do next. Stick the middle part of this panel to the top, middle. We did that. Take the other cutout section and cut it in half. Okay. I'm going to use my cutter again because y'all know I can't cut. I cannot cut straight, not on my own. So my cutter is my friend. All right, we've got that cut exactly in half. And score 1/2 inch from one side of both pieces. So we need our scoreboard. Okay, and this is going to go, so we want our score to be on the inside, on the white side of mine, or the inside of whatever you want on your inside. Okay, so scoring there. That's one of them. And this one at 1/2. Okay, so now we can move our scoreboard again. I'm going to have to put that in there because I will lose it. Thank you to Miss Vanessa for the wonderful scoreboard. That was such a wonderful gift. I use it all the time. Okay, so these parts that you folded, you want to go ahead and burnish those or just fold them down if it's paper like mine. Okay, you're going to notice that they do not fit the page exactly. Okay, that's on purpose. You want them to have a little bit of room on both sides so that when you glue this little flap down in here, it fits fine when everything's folded. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let me read her instructions, make sure I'm not jumping ahead. Yep, glue either side of the middle section as shown in the video, which I did watch the video in its entirety probably 3 times. Because y'all know I get sidetracked real easy. I chase squirrels. If you don't know what that means, I have ADHD and I easily get distracted. So I do a lot of rewinding and making sure that I get things right. But that's okay. That's a life. That's life. Okay, we're going to put it about right there because our fold is where that line is, and I want it about even on both sides, just so aesthetically it looks nice. All right, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now you want to make sure that when you fold it open, oh, let me look at mine. Did I put it backwards? Let me pull it off before it dries and make sure. What did I do with that? Well, y'all, I just showed it to, oh, there it is. Okay. Let me double check that before I tell you that in this video. Okay, here it is. And yeah, they fold to the inside like that. So I've got it right, or had it right. That's okay. It's better to check and not be sorry than it is to do it and be sorry later. Because you got to redo it all. Okay, so we're going to line that back up, giving about the same amount of room on both sides. There we go. And I'm going to do this side now. This is really an easy thing once you get the hang of it, and it is such a handy thing. It's kind of like, it reminds me of a loaded envelope, but it's not as cumbersome to me. I don't know why that's so cumbersome, but it is. Okay, so we've got this. It goes in like that, and then this folds in and this folds in. We are on our way, guys, doing really good. Now, what is sticking up there? I've got something sticking up, and it is this little piece. So let me just get my scissors, and y'all keep your fingers crossed that I get it close to straight. I do have a line to go by, so that helps. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, so that's going to be the outside one. This is going to be the inside one. Is anything sticking up on that? Just a hair, but I think it's that middle. Yeah, I think it is. So I'm going to trim just that little white spot that's sticking out. Okay. I cut my paper? Okay. This is why you got to watch and not do what I do. Do what I say. So what I did when I did something like that earlier is I just put a piece of tape across it, and you can put any kind of tape you want, any kind of washi tape, any kind of grungy tape, and I've got a bucket full of washi here, so surely we have something that will look good with it. We've got that alphabet one, but I really don't want to use it. That's just individuals. That too. Too wide. I don't really want to use that because it's not the right color that I want, but I will if I have to. That's not the right color either, though. See, you don't have to make these decisions if you don't do what I do and you do what I say. I know I've totally confused y'all about that by now, but I have this little narrow sliver of black and white. We'll use it for this demo. Since I don't even know if I'll be able to use this one because of the paper being so thin. But we got to try, right? Got to try. Okay. So I'm going to put this all the way across the whole thing so it looks like it was meant to be done that way. I see Jen shaking her head at me right now. But it's okay, Jen. It's okay. I fix it. I fix it. Okay. Where's my little... I need something to tear it off even with. There we go. Well, that's close enough. And I'll just cut that one. So what I'll do, if that is showing, I will just add it to some other places on here, just so it looks like I meant to do it. You can always fix a mistake. Always. If you can't, you just get to redo it. No biggie. No biggie. Okay. So now that I did that and messed that up, we're going to go up here and I want to make sure that my washi folds good with that fold since it's on the outside there. And I did these as, okay. So next we're going to start embellishing some places. This is where I kind of went a little rogue because I put I used the colors that were in the other one, but I put all the pockets and the belly bands and stuff like that that she didn't have on her. She had a few, but I wanted a lot because I was sending the Happy Meals, right? So here's where we have to do some measuring, and y'all know measuring is not my friend, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We have to find some paper, just some scrap paper or whatever you have, and I found some pretty good sheets in my scrap bin, two of which I never even used, but one of them I used a piece. So I'm going to use these two first, and if I need it, I'll get that one. So since I have a little white border on mine, I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. Where's my cutter? It's at that end. I must flip that around. Okay. I'm going to cut the white borders off so I don't have anything to do with that in my measuring because they don't count. Okay. Just take that little sliver off. I don't know why I flipped all the way around. I got to go around the whole thing. Work smarter, not harder, Stephanie. Okay. It really is easy, guys. It is so easy. If I can do it, any of y'all can do it. Let me tell you. It is definitely fun and easy and great for Happy Meal. I'm so excited I found it because I had these Happy Meals come right up that needed to be done. So I'm going ahead and I'm going to trim that little extra off of this other one. Now I didn't get quite all of it, so I'm going to go a little bit more because I don't want any of that white showing. And I'm going to go to the next section. And if you've never used a rotary cutter before, you want to get familiar with yours to know where exactly it cuts. Mine actually cuts right in this groove right here. Okay? Most of them are going to do that, but some of them are a little tricky. I've had one like that, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is not going to work. But if you line it up right in that groove where you want your blade to cut, you will be fine. And just make sure all the way down that it looks like you're taking about the same amount. Because sometimes you can get off a little bit and it'll kind of throw your measurements and stuff off. Okay, so let's get rid of that trash. And we need to do our first measurement. And I'm going to do that for the inside of here first, just because it looks like I just can't stand it being all white. So I'm going to take my ruler. This is a vector ruler. I got it from Amazon. It's an easy to read ruler. It has centimeters on one side. It has inches on the other, but the inches also has the increments for you. Oh boy, that was a big relief to my brain. Okay, so we're going to want this to be just, I was going to say just, probably not on this one because it's so much white. On the other one, I was just inside of everything because I liked the color. So we're going to go to 3 15/16. Okay, let me write this down because y'all know, I be done forgot it. 3 15/16, and that's going to be the up and down measurement. And then we're going to go and do the across measurement from one side to the other. Make sure you don't go over that. And it is going to be 3 15/16. So that's great. That's a nice square. They don't always happen. Okay, so let's get this out. If you're using directional paper, make sure you go by the direction of your paper. I hope that makes sense. Like on this one, it has words and they're all reading going this way. So I would want to make sure that that's at the top of my piece. Okay, so 3 and, oh dear, it doesn't have it on my thing. So I'm going to take my ruler because me and it get along. Okay, 3 15/16, and it's going to line up right there. So I'm going to hold it, move the ruler, put this down, and slice. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do it with the other direction, and I'm going to line it back up with 3 15/16. And we're going to slide over to our cutting line, and it's right there on it. I'm holding it and slicing. Whoop! I'm going to drop that piece. Okay, move this out of our way and get our glue paper back because we need to glue this. But first, you want to check the size before you put glue on it. Make sure your words are upright if you have an uprightness to your words. Okay, if I put that right there, is are my doors going to close still? It needs just a sliver off of it. Okay. And yep, it's going to need just a sliver off of both sides. So let's get our little cutter back. I gave it a little extra because I'd rather have extra than not enough. You can't just really plop it back on there. You know what I mean? I mean, technically you can. You can use tape and glue and whatever you want to use, but you know, if you want to avoid the hassle of that, I would advise to do so. One thing that I keep forgetting to do is when you use a rotary cutter like this, you want to start cutting in the middle and pull back and go back to the middle and pull up. For some reason, it actually keeps it from tearing like it did on my edge right there, which is okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So this is our practice one anyway, right? And we got our glue paper. Oh, measure it again. Measure it again. Okay. We got, I think, pretty good that way and pretty good this way. Let's fold them up. Yeah. And this one will still fold fine. So we're good. We just need to glue that thing down. If you wanted to ink around it, you would ink now. And I'm not going to because this is just a template. But I did on that other one. And inking always makes stuff look more finished and better, in my opinion. Definitely my opinion. But it just kind of finishes the edges off really nice. Okay, move your glue page so you don't stick your stuff down to your glue page. Ask me how I know that. I did that. Yup, I am that kind of crafter. Line it up. Smooth it out. Okay, so that is there. That's awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the measurements for each of the white sections and go ahead and put those pieces on there. So I'm going to do that and I will meet you right back. Okay, guys, I am back. And one thing I did want to tell you is the very left-hand side pocket, do not put your paper on top of that yet. You want to put your brad and everything in this outside first. First. Yes. And if you do it the opposite way, don't put it on this side. You know, it's up to you whichever way you do it, but don't do that. So, right now we're right here, and this is my piece cut for there. So I do need to go ahead and get me a couple of discs, and they do need to be firmer. They can't be just the paper. So let me see what I got in my scrap bin here. I know we got something in here. Oh, them is too white. I just got to dig deep enough. Y'all, this scrap bucket is for real. It's for real. It's a problem. It is a problem. Okay. I don't have what I want to use as my circles. So, but I got different pieces of this cardstock. That's okay. That's okay. I can cut them and I can put a piece of the paper on top of it and on the back so it matches. It'll be just fine. Just fine. So, be right back. Okay, guys. So what I've done is I cut out the circles. I put a piece of the paper on both sides and I have two pieces of cardstock in the middle. I have gone through and punched a hole in the center. You see I have two holes. It's okay. I punched it wrong the first time. If they're looking that close, they ain't your friends. So we will need three of these, one for each side here and one for the outside. So I have the others glued up and they are drying. So I will have to wait to cut those till a later time. But you'll understand how to do it with this one. So I think, let's see, should we use a black one or a silver? I'm kind of thinking silver. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to use silver on this one. Just pick out your color, whatever color you think works best. And that's what it's going to look like on the top of it. I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the outside since the outside only needs one. I am going to show you something I did right there in just a minute. So I'm going to close that up and going over to this outside because we didn't put our piece on there because remember we had to put that on first so we could cover it. So I'm going to put a hole about center way, but I'm going to put it out a little bit because I don't want it to overlap the edges. So I just use a little pokey tool. If you don't have one, Zena, the Sassy Crafter, makes amazing ones. And this is where we're going to split the tail of it. All right, and now we need our other piece, which I have moved everything around so much. I think I put some stuff on the back. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Now we are able to put this where it goes, but remember direction of your words. Okay, now this is going to give you a bit of a bump. So if you will take a piece of cardstock in a circle, just one piece, it will go ahead and cover that. Or, you know what, you can even just use tape. Let's just use tape. So I'm going to stick that across there just to kind of help it poke down some. And we're going to glue this right on there. I may regret grabbing this glue instead of my glue stick, but we're going to do it anyway. This is reptile glue in my bottle. It's a nice glue, but it is a wet glue. Alright, so make sure your direction of your words and stuff are pointing the right way. Go to your corners on the outside first, line it up, and then stick it all the way down. Now to get this side, it's easier if you will just turn it upside down and just push all the way around your little circle. It will get on there a lot flatter. Okay, so that's how we put the closure on the outside. I don't want to use that same twine that I used earlier. So let me grab something for that. Okay, so I found this in my trim stash and we're going to use it. It's the silver rope and it's really easy to do. You just take this around the circle underneath it and tie a knot right there and tighten it up all the way underneath it. That's going to help hold it up enough for you to wrap your other around it when you get there. So if it gives you a little trouble, just kind of push it a little bit. It'll go. I tighten it down as tight as I could go. That pulls the whole thing up, not just the one side. And I got myself a little short here, but you want to go ahead and fiddle with it until you get that second turn around, that second tightening. There we go. Now we got a knot. And I'm fine with that little tail hanging out. I think it's cute. It's like a little silver tassel. So then you're going to wrap this around and do it a few times. Whatever suits you. I figure 3 or 4. I probably do 3 and then stop at when I come back up to the top. And I will cut it off about there. And I will twist it around the opening. And that is our closure. It's that simple. So easy. So to do the other two on the inside, you will do it exactly the same way. The only difference there is that it's two of them instead of one. That's it. You do it the same distance away. What works there is what you do. It's not hard. Whew, I've been at this all day recording this video, guys. I am not so sure if I'm going to upload it or not. We will see. I feel like I was more of a babbling idiot than I was helpful to anyone. But I guess if I upload it, at least you will have the link to the original from the woman who did it, right? Oh my goodness. These things fiddle with me all the time. Okay, move that. Okay, so what I want to show you on the inside that I did, and you just unwrap like that and you open it up here. And right here where we just put that on there, when it dries good, you'll go ahead and just, I used a gray ink. I used it on a dauber and a brush, so whichever one works best for getting in the spot, that's what I used. And this one that I used is called Hickory Smoke, and usually works best if you just wait till it's dry, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Okay, so we've opened it up like this, and you'll notice that on the inside here, I have gone and I've put this ink in between and on every white spot that I found, even on the inside of the flaps. And that makes doing your white backed papers just fine. Um, so once you get those in a little tie, you can always put another piece of um, cardstock, a circle on the back side, just to kind of help sturdy up that paper if you're using regular paper. But went ahead here and I think I missed a little white spot right there. There we go. In some spots, when you use a glue stick, you'll be like, well, I know I glued that, and you did, but it didn't seal off very good right there. So just grab your other glue, like your art glitter glue that has a little pointy nozzle on it like this, and just stick it up in there and squirt some glue. Okay, and you guys remember my little boo-boo where I messed up earlier, right? And I cut the little slit right there. I had put washi tape. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. But then I had the brilliant idea to go ahead and try to just cut a piece of the white and put the gray on the white. And I did a half of an inch and I just put half on one side and half on the other. And I made sure that when I did it, I folded both ways, both directions, so that it would fold easily no matter what you did. And I like it so much that I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it on every seam that I have on here, just because I think it's a nice embellishment. Um, you can cover this up and do stamping in the empty spots. Anything you want to do there would be helpful. So at this stage, all you have to do is go in and decorate how you want to. You put in pockets or belly bands or side tucks, anything that you can think of that would be creative. You can put those in there on each one of the flaps, and then you just fill it up with whatever you'd like to send to your partner, your exchange um, person, or happy mail for my case. And yeah, you just put it in the envelope and get it mailed. So it's that easy, and it will hold a lot of stuff. You saw how it was earlier whenever I had it open. I'll show you one more time the original one that I did. And that was this one. And I didn't do a pocket here, but I will. I noticed that when I was showing it to you, but I did a pocket here. Flip it over, there's a pocket here. Open this up. On this side, you have a pocket here and a pocket here, a pocket here. You could change these up, do anything you want to do to it. It's your creation. But this is the basic premise of it to make it where you can get to that point. And then we have to undo our twist. On the inside, I have a pocket on the first thing, and you fold that down. There's another pocket and a belly band. Then you fold that out, and there's a belly band and a pocket here. So you have lots and lots of space that you can fill up, and this will fit nicely in a small envelope. So it will definitely help on your postage for shipping for Happy Meals. And everybody likes Happy Meals. You got to send Happy Meals. It's too fun. It's fun to send them and it's fun to receive them. So definitely give it a shot and see what you think. Let me know. If you go over to the original posters video, tell her I sent you over. And don't forget, I will have those links in the description box below. The link for her, and was there someone else? I cannot remember. I will play back and see who else I said I would put in the link, and it will be in the description down below. And all of the measurements, remember, are on the original video of the person who did it. So go give her a like. She's really very creative, so I highly encourage that. To do the one more quick thing before we go, to do the papers in the half inch, since I decided I was going to do it on a mass scale and do all of them, I went ahead and put my ink all over a piece of white paper. And you see there's some lines in it, so I'll go back over it one more time. And then when it's fully dry, it's just on the back of some scrap paper what I had left over. When it's fully dry, I'll cut it in sections and place it where it needs to go in our one we made today. So I hope this helps, guys, and you enjoyed it. And this was week number 2 of the Ideas Book of Ideas. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. Thanks.